Good morning, this is Sissy with stampinwithsissy.net. I'm an independent Stampin' Up! Demonstrator, and I saw this card designed by Dawn Griffith, and I absolutely had to copy it. It's perfect for all of the funerals I've been attending lately. I finally reached that age where I'm attending more funerals than weddings, and so I needed some beautiful sympathy cards that I could give to those of my friends and family who have passed away. I like to finish the inside of the cards, so I decided to simply glue one of the flowers from the beautiful paper. I'll start by telling you the supplies we're going to need to do this card. We have an 8.5 by 5.5 Whisper White cardstock. We have another piece that is 4 by 5.25. We have a little sliver that is 5.25 by 1 1/8, and another sliver that is 1 3/8 by 5.25. And this is a piece of the springtime foil paper that I cut down to 5.25 by 2.5. I cut out some of the flowers separately. You can see how I put them on the outside here. We need 2 strips of gold foil that are about 1/2 by 6, and then another little piece that is 3/4 by 2.5 to back the sentiment here. On this card I used the copper foil, and on the card we're making today I wanted to use the gold foil and see which one I liked better. We'll need the everyday label punch. When I'm gluing things, I like to use my silicone mat so that I don't get glue all over my workspace and ruin my project. We're going to need the Stampin' Dimensionals, the Heartfelt Blooms stamp set, which is free with a $50 purchase until March 31st, so if you love it, you better get it right away. This is my little embossing buddy, because we're going to do a little bit of embossing today, and some snail adhesive. And I think that's the end of the supply list. Let's get started with putting the background together. I'm going to set my card base aside, and we'll put that together later. Get my silicone mat and my 2 pieces of white cardstock, Whisper White cardstock. I'm going to use my snail adhesive. I'm going to run a line of adhesive to the edge of that and just get maybe 1/8 of an inch edge showing. Take my little snippers and cut off what I don't need. Do the same with this other one. Okay, now we're going to adhere the springtime foil a little left of the center for me. You can do this anyway, mix it up any way you want to. But for the purposes of the video, I'm going to do something similar. In fact, I'll put this card over here so you can see. Well, this is just the 5.25 by 4. Take my Stampin' Dimensionals. I love these guys. I use them on almost every project. Now let me just double check, make sure I don't want to trim this paper off any more than I did. I'm going to trim off a little of this larger one because I want more of the foil, and maybe even some of the smaller one. I want more of the foil to show. I'm going to cut off about 1/4 of an inch off each one of them. Okay, I like that much better. So I'm ready to put my dimensionals on. By the way, don't be like me and put your dimensionals on first because it's a lot harder to cut. I'm going to move this paper so I have a black background. It makes it easier to see, line this up. I thought what Dawn had done is just backed this foil paper with the copper and then just finished it that way, but the dimension that you get from adding them on the sides is so beautiful. I'm not sure you can really tell how neat that looks, but it's so pretty. Okay, so let's bring our paper back in here. Now we can adhere our flowers, and every one of these is going to be different. You're going to choose different widths to do this. You can see this is a little bit more narrow, but it doesn't matter. So I think I'm going to take this leaf off. Put this in like so, and then have this leaf back over here somewhere. Yeah. Okay, now let's do a little bit of stamping. I just got my Stamparatus yesterday. It's the hottest item at Stampin' Up. In fact, you have to be on a waiting list to get one. So what you do, this is, I don't know if you have a MISTI, this is very similar, only I just love it so much better because it has two plates. So I have four sides. I can put a stamp on here, put a stamp on here, put a stamp on here, put a stamp on here. I can do, if I wanted to make lines or something across, I can take this out, put it in with my stamp on there, go down, repeat. A lot of times when I'm making cards, I usually make 3 or 4 at a time. And so, like this sentiment, if I wanted to stamp it 3 or 4 times, for other cards, put it on there, bring it up, put it down, and go on, and without touching it I can do 3 or 4 sentiments. Now I'm going to do this with the Versamark because I want to emboss it with the gold embossing powder. I am a heat embossed junkie. I think the heat embossing just makes it look so elegant. First we're going to use our embossing buddy, which I always forget to do, but the powder in this makes it so that you don't get all the flecks on the outside. It just gives you a cleaner stamp. So I'm going to do this. I always put a piece of paper under my project so that I can pour it a little more easy. You could say I'm a bit of a slob. So pretty. I'm going to get my embossing gun. Isn't that gorgeous? Stampin' Up's embossing powders are so beautiful. They heat. I've had some other embossing powders from other companies that look kind of pitty. And this is just such a smooth, elegant, beautiful, sharp image. Easy to read. Okay, I'm taking my everyday label punch. I want to kind of center the sentiment. I really like this Tim Holtz tonic. I know Stampin' Up! Doesn't sell it, but I really like using it. It really is, you can tell by all the glue that I've got stuck on here. I'm going to just trim off 1/4 inch. All right. Take my little gold foil and adhere this. Add this to the card. Now all we have left to do is add this to the card base, and you can either choose to just adhere it like it is, but I really do love dimensionals, and so I'm going to add some dimensionals to the back of the card. Be careful when you're adhering things with these dimensionals, they stick. Then I think I'm going to take this flower, place it on the inside for kind of a finishing touch. Wasn't that fast and easy and elegant? I just love this card. I hope you enjoyed this video. I sure appreciate you taking the time to watch it. Hit the subscribe button so you don't miss any future videos. Thanks for watching. Bye!